everyone at Solana Breakpoint conference, and here with you Anna Tutova, co-founder of Telegram Media Group, and our guest Mika Honkasalo, who recently launched his new project called Access Protocol for the monetization of the media subscriptions, and as well he is delegate of Uniswap, MakerDAO, and as well he used to be a researcher for the blog and Verify Capital. Great to have you here, Mika.
Thanks. Happy to talk about Access Protocol and the Solana conference.
So, can you tell us how did you get into this space?
I was just sort of a long-time follower, starting from like Bitcoin and stuff. I like the space. I didn't really make it full-time until just at some point I started doing like these different small projects like around DeFi and things like that, and through that I made it full-time after that. So then it's been spent a year at the blog on the research team, doing a lot of studying L2s and DeFi protocols and things like that. Spent a year at Verify Capital, which is a hedge fund based in crypto, and yeah, jumped from there to the Access Protocol, which comes from a lot of the ideas that we had about when we saw the blocks business and thought about how to apply Web3 monetization to it. So Access Protocol really comes from a lot of those ideas.
And which year did you know about crypto?
I think I found out in 2013 on some YouTube, Andreas Antonopoulos YouTube videos. So I've been a hobbyist for a while, but I've worked in the space from I think 2018 or so onwards.
And can you explain how Access Protocol will work?
Yeah, so Access Protocol, basically what it offers is for creators and digital media publications to monetize in a different way. And so the way you'll see this is basically in the protocol, when you're on board as a creator, you create a pool, and users can stake our native ACS token to that pool. And when they stake, both the user and the creator start to receive inflation rewards from the token supply. And it sort of changes how the normal monetization works, where you're probably used to a $9.99 subscription that you pay monthly or an annual basis, and you have access to New York Times paywall content. So here, instead of having that one price point, some pays, and it's a value extracted relationship. Here, instead, you go to one of the exchanges, and you also receive access to these paywall content, basically. So we work with publications, but also individual creators as well, where we have a couple of different ways to integrate the protocol. One is directly on your site as a paywall. Another one is just via a Medium/Substack kind of product that we're launching for individual creators. So those are a couple of different ways people interact.
For individual creators, it sounds a bit like you're making Onlyfans for Web3.
I would say Medium Substack with better monetization, at least, is a fair way to put it.
And with your token, so when do you plan to launch it, and how will the user be able to get it?
Yeah, so we'll be launching in about a month, and to onboard, basically, I can say that we're trying to make it as simple as possible, where you're able to get it on some exchanges and because we're it's more we're selling subscriptions in a way. So a lot of customers are sort of used to a credit card flow there, and they understand that. So trying to mimic that sort of thing as well. So that's basically how people do these subscriptions.
And when people put these tokens into the pool, what interest will they get, and on what will depend the range of this interest?
Yeah, so there's the way to think about it is there's an inflation reward, and that gets split 50-50 between the user and the creator. And the creator cut, you can think of it as over time the creator is owning a bigger and bigger part of the ecosystem through those rewards, because they sort of start out with 0 tokens, but people join their pool, so they get more and more over time. And then from the user perspective, you're also getting rewards, so there's a difference between you sort of have to, if you buy our token, you sort of have to use it in a way, because if you don't, you won't be earning the rewards, so you'll get diluted. And there, I think the better way to think about it, instead of like what the exact reward rate is more like at what speed do like creators capture value within the ecosystem, and like how well you as a staker maintain sort of your share of the network. But so basically it'll be about like a few percent per year that goes to the creators, and like similar to users on like the kind of fully diluted supply basis, but sort of in practice it'll be like a bit more, because not all tokens are staked or circulating. So.
And do you plan to implement any NFTs for the subscriptions or something like that?
Yeah, so I think NFTs are like, and overall just doing normal sort of Web3 subscription kind of things. Like people have tended to take the NFT route, and our token, it's like the kind of fungible route, so it's very different. But we think that like with that fungible setup as like the bottom, you can do like very interesting like non-fungible things like on top. So for example, like one creator we're onboarding is an artist, and they can look at like all their users who have staked to their pool and see like how much they've staked, and for example, based on how much they've staked, like do a lottery per month on like an NFT drop, things like that. So we think that this like base layer of fungibility, on top of that you can build like the non-fungible stuff.
And as well, can you tell about your activities in Uniswap and with MakerDAO?
Yeah, so I work with like a couple of people on governance and like these DeFi protocols. So this just means being able to like helping like the decision making process of how those protocols should be developed, what kind of strategies they should take. So so doing like that kind of like deep DeFi research work sometimes.
And how do you generally see the state of current crypto market?
Well, I think it's been like a healthy reset in a way, that sort of the excesses of last year have died down, and now it's more about just like people building cool stuff. So I think I find that kind of much more interesting and a better ecosystem to be a part of. So I think, yeah, now it's just going to be people really like trying to find use cases that kind of make it to the mainstream. It's very like a small community who does any of this stuff. So yeah, I think we'll see like in gaming or in finance or things start to like slowly encroach on like the sort of more mainstream activity, but I think still it'll take a while to really hit those applications. I think it'll be like a pretty long process.
And what may be the next catalyst for the next bull market?
I think a popular one is like around gaming, probably. Like if you sort of see the kind of Axie phenomenon again, but sort of more sustainably and in kind of a better game, I think that's a path here. I think there's a couple of interesting things being done on like the DeFi side, where we're sort of bridging traditional finance with DeFi. So like Maker is working a lot with like real world assets and bringing them as collateral into a place, and also like JP Morgan just did like their first DeFi transaction on a fork of Aave. So I think those kind of efforts are gonna like bear fruit eventually, but I think all of those, there's still like a lot to build for them to like really work properly.
Yeah, but still, like we see so many big news with JP Morgan making first DeFi transaction as well. Polygon works with Reddit, onboarding millions of users into the space, and like it doesn't move the market.
Yeah, well, I think that's kind of like the if you think about like the previous cycle, and sort of, you actually had a lot of the DeFi applications that are still very popular launch in like 2018, 2019. But it took until like 2020 until anyone cared. So it's kind of like a similar one where you want to be kind of frustrated that we're making a lot of progress, but you don't see it because then eventually you'll see it later. So I think it's like a similar dynamic.
And do you invest now into the market? Like buying any altcoins?
Yeah, I mean I'm always kind of have been long this stuff and will continue to be. So yeah, generally. But I think I take like a pretty long-term view of things, where it's more about like fundamentals and things like that, and not really like very active.
And can you share some altcoin picks?
Well, not financial advice, but I would say that like probably like the projects that have been like longest standing and like have a lot of like real activity on top of them and actually like generate revenue. I think like that's kind of the framework that I think about. So I think like kind of the way I would structure and have like picks is sort of like kind of the boring names in a way. That's like the kind of Uniswaps and the makers really that are like the biggest protocols right now, and I think they will continue to be really big in the future as well. So.
And as well, let's discuss some stuff about Ethereum. Now, Ethereum in September made the merge, the transition from proof of work to proof of stake, and now there are a lot of concerns about decentralization of Ethereum and about the censorship of Ethereum blocks. And as well recently, just yesterday, I think Vitalik posted the new roadmap for Ethereum. So what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think it sort of censorship at the base layer is something that Ethereum is going to be struggling with for a while, but it doesn't like apply just to Ethereum. I think people sort of underestimate also like a lot of Bitcoin proof of work miners are like public companies and stuff like that. So if they have the same pressure as Ethereum like block generators to like censor transactions, it's actually not that different in a way. I think it's like just become sort of more prevalent. Just the understanding, especially like after what happened with Tornado Cash, that okay, like people will be like government agencies sort of will be meddling in this stuff at like the block production layer as well. So that's I think an ongoing battle where I don't really know how to fix that. I think like everyone really has a great idea around that. But yeah, the Ethereum roadmap, it's been simplified like a lot over time. It used to be like a lot more complex, but now I think people realize that it's sort of the layer 2 is not supposed to do a lot of the work, and the layer 1 kind of stays simple using really actually for transaction processing. So that's kind of the long-term thing, and the roadmap updates will reflect that as well, where it's very like layer 2 heavy, the optimizations and things like that. So I think that's quite clear what will happen.
Yeah, now there's a lot of stuff happening around ZK and like a lot of projects releasing their ZK EVMs. What do you see in development in that space?
I think everyone has sort of considered like the ZK type of scaling and privacy to be like a big end game for where the technology is going. Even though it's sort of being advertised right now that they're launching to mainnet, but not really like the full versions of them and not really like the proper version of the tech. So I do think that is ultimately like the best version of the tech that will ever come, but even that it's gonna like take a while for it to actually work how it's supposed to in like reality. But that is like the most promising and sort of most important tech in many ways, I think, in crypto.
And by the way, on which blockchain do you run Access protocol?
So we're launching on Solana first, and then we will also be launching on Starknet, like in Q1 next year. And the thinking behind that comes from just like low fees, a place where there's users, easy to onboard them, those kinds of things. And yeah, I think Solana is like a pretty good place to do that now, obviously. And then when we look at like the best sort of Ethereum scaling solutions, we just think like Starknet is a very like cool project and very promising. So that's like where we're headed in the Ethereum ecosystem.
Can you share some future plans for the development?
Yeah, so first we'll be like launching with our integration partners quite soon, and that means that you'll be able to sort of stake and do all those sorts of things both on our site and like theirs. Yeah, and from there we're going to work on more of providing more tooling for like individual creators as well, and I think there's a lot of work to be done on like just setting up the pipeline for creators that okay, like this is really a way for them to manage a big revenue stream and a big part of their business. So building tooling around that is going to be important, and then like working towards like being able to do this multi-chain. So that's sort of the path forward here.
Yeah. Good luck with your development. Thank you for such interesting conversation and sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you.